Hello everyone, it is Peach here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. And I thought, as you can tell by today's title, I thought I would share 10 mistakes that people make while traveling. And I thought I would just give you my opinions on it, what I feel like, what mistakes people make very often, since I do travel a lot, as you can tell. Because for the past year, I've been all over the place. Not in the past year, but you get the point. So let's just. So number one is thinking, people thinking that they can have good food and great tourist places at the same time. So what I mean about this is that people would want to go to Rome to see all the tourist places, but they also think they're gonna have great food. The issue with this, having this mindset, is that you are visiting a tourist place. So like places like Rome, Paris, and stuff like that, they're all very touristy places, but you're not going to get the best experience with food, only because these places are very high tourist places. So when you go to the restaurant, so if you go to Rome, for example, yeah, you're going to see these amazing buildings, all this stuff, but the food is not going to be great. And the reason why this is because the restaurants are such in a high command to send out the food quickly and per se. So the food is not going to be the best because they try to have the speed and everything to make the clients happy and stuff like that. So if you want, when you book a flight, you need to choose, okay, do I want to have a great tourist experience, or do I want to get a good food experience? Because there is a high risk when you visit a tourist place, the food is not going to be amazing, greatly, like, oh my god, when you leave, you're not going to remember the food, you're going to remember the places. If you visit like Paris, Brussels, stuff like that. So I think a lot of people, when they have this mindset, they do get very upset because they did not get both. So you just need to have that in mind when you go to a very tourist city, because the chances are both being like extraordinary, like amazing, having both tourist and food, like great experience, is like 1% chance or something like that. So just have the mindset that if you prefer to go see the tourist place, you're probably not going to have the best food experience. You're probably going to be more like, oh yeah, this is not what I was expecting. It's not going to be bad, but it's not going to be the best. That's where I have to put it. Number 2 on my list is overpacking. Now, I'm not the person that should be saying this because I do overpack every single time, but if you want to bring home tourist things or do a lot of shopping when you go to a city or whatever, do not overpack. Especially when you overpack, the airport does charge you a lot more, and it gets so expensive so quickly. So you just want to pack a few things if you do want to do a lot of shopping. It's just because you don't want to pay for the overpacking your suitcase, because then paying for your suitcase being overweight is going to be probably the most expensive thing out of your trip, and that's not what you want. So my advice, do not overpack. Plan your suitcase accordingly. Number 3 is carrying a lot of valuable things. So it's usually what happens, kind of like when you go to New York City, you have your camera out, there's a lot of people coming out to your face, come to my store, because they see that you're a tourist. Now, if you're a YouTuber, like, I understand that you want to take pictures and everything, but on your camera, because you're photographer or whatever. But the issue that I see that a lot, like, that happens a lot, so the cameras and stuff, you can't bring it on the plane with you. That's like never been an issue, because I do it all the time. But I've noticed that people pack in the suitcase very valuable things, so like expensive jewelry and stuff like that. And the third issue is when you go on the plane, it's possible that your suitcase is going to get lost, or what they do also, when you pass your suitcase, they do check your suitcase to make sure you don't have anything that's dangerous or whatever. And when someone sees something valuable like that, it is a higher risk of them taking it. So that's something that you don't want to do. So don't bring a lot of valuable things with you. So just bring things like a camera or whatever to take pictures, to make memories. But don't bring like tons and tons of valuable things, unless it has to do with work. Like if you're a photographer, you have to have expensive things for your camera and stuff. But if you're just visiting, do not bring a lot of valuable things, because you're all high risk losing your suitcase, someone pickpocketing you when you're out looking. Because for example, if you visit Paris, Paris is a very well-known city of someone pickpocketing you, and that's something that you don't want to happen, because when that does happen, that is just going to ruin your whole trip. So do not overpack, if you want to say, of a lot of valuable things that you do not want to lose. Number 4 is visiting a lot of places in such a short time period. So what I mean by this is I know mainly a lot of Americans who do this, and my advice is do not do this. So what they would do, like mainly, is, yeah, I'm visiting Europe, and like I'm visiting like 5 countries in Europe in 8 days. And the issue I have with this is that you're not gonna have a lot of time to experience these kind of countries in a short amount of time, because you have to do this country for a day, one country half a day, and it gets very, very stressful. And because you're in such a rush to go to city to city to city in a short amount of time, there's a higher risk that when you leave and get back home, you're not going to remember these type of memories. So I feel like do not do these. If you want to stay, like visit a lot of countries and like in a year, do not do like a week, because that is just, you do not have time to consume everything, consume the culture, and just relax and just consume everything. You're just such a stressful state. And when you stay much longer, you're all going to remember you're all going to make memories. You're all going to remember these type of countries when you leave and get back home. And just plan accordingly. Yeah, it might be sound really, really fun. Yeah, in 8 days I'm doing this and this and this and this. And it might sound really great. Like, yeah, I accomplished this, I did this and that. But it's not the same thing as like, yeah, I stayed at this place for 2 weeks, and then I went to visit this country for 2 weeks, a week, or whatever. It's not the same experience, and it's just going to be more stressful. That's something that you don't want to remember by. Number 5 is booking flights too close together. So this is also can be very stressful, because, for example, if you did not book a direct flight, for example, so you have a stop in between, and you're in such a rush to go through things, because it's possible that you have to rebook your luggage, or you have to pass through security again. And the issue is, you don't know how long that is going to be. Your first flight might get delayed, and by the time you get there, your second plane already left. These type of events can be very, very stressful. So even if it does come with time, you had no issue, and you have to wait like an hour for your next flight to leave, it is better than nothing than booking your second flight 20 minutes away when you land to that destination, and you're rushing through, passing through the line, and to be honest, you kind of look like that like very rude person trying to be in the front of the line, and that's not the usual impression that you want to give, especially to the workers who work at the airport, because I kind of figured that they just end up being rude back to you, because you're in the stress mode, and usually what happens when you're in stress mode, you tend to be rude even though you don't mean to. So the stewards are going to be rude back, just because they don't want to deal with that. They're all dealing with people all day and everything. So do not book your flights or your buses or whatever at such a close time together. just because it's going to be stressful, just in case something does happen. Number 6 is forgetting to inform your bank that you are going on a trip. I noticed this a lot, where people leave and they just forgot, like, oh my god, I didn't tell my bank that I was going across the country. They do not use dollars, and by the time you do contact your bank, it might take a while to transfer for your bank card to activate and everything. So plan your schedule well before leaving, because plan out what you need to do, how long it's going to take, and everything before you leave for your trip. Because informing your bank is like the most important thing. Because if you don't inform your bank, you can't use your bank card, and you can't do all the fun things like go in the restaurant, buy things, do all the tourist things, because you did not inform your bank that you were leaving out of your country. Number 7 is losing money in exchange transactions. So what I've heard a lot of stories about this. For me, I think me personally, I think it is better to make your money exchange at your hometown. Saying, hey, I'm going to this country, here's my money, please exchange it to euros or whatever, or pounds or wherever country you're going and whatever type of money they use. So me personally, I think it's a lot better to do it at your own bank than go to the airport, because they will charge you extra fees, and I guess I heard it's a lot more expensive because you have to pay them to exchange the money, and I guess it's really more expensive. They lose more money because they weren't expecting it, and it's a whole thing. So me personally, I haven't heard good stories about it. Me personally, I never did that. Most of the times I just inform my bank that I'm going to the States, or usually what happens is I just exchange my money at the nearest bank near me to change my money, and I think that's just the simplest thing to do and less stressful to do. Number 8 is not learning any local phrases, and me personally, I do have an issue when people do not know how to speak, like say thank you or whatever, which is, I'm guilty. I don't know how to say thank you or please or anything when I visit Italy or the Czech Republic and stuff like that. I am my fault, but most of these countries do know how to speak English. Because if you go to a tourist place, the majority of them will know how to speak English. But it is very nice when you try, and these people will be so happy and everything. They might respect you a little more when you try to speak the language. Even if it's just say thank you or whatever, they would definitely appreciate it. Would definitely light up their days. Number 9 is not understanding the local culture before your trip. And I noticed this a lot, and this is my number 1 issue. It's definitely at my top, not as much like not learning the certain phrases, but not knowing the culture to the country that you're going. I find it so disrespectful, because you're going to a country not knowing anything, and if you don't know the culture, there's a good chance that you did not do your research on what is legal and illegal in that country, and that is like the number 1 thing that is very important to know when you go to the country. And me personally, I just find it very disrespectful. So please do your research on the country that you're going to and everything, just to show respect to the people who live there. And because if you don't know the culture, when you go there, it is going to seem you are disrespecting the people there, and they're going to be extremely rude to you. And just knowing the culture, just not the whole history or anything, but just know the basics of the culture, so you don't not going to have a bad experience with the other people around you in that country. And number 10 is not reading your travel insurance policy. I think that is very, very, very important. So I do sometimes get insurance when I buy my ticket. For example, my plane ticket. So in case something like my plane gets cancelled, I have the insurance. So I'm not in stress for panicky way, because then the insurance will be taken care of. Yes, it might be a pain in the butt because you have to pay extra money, but it is best to know what insurance you have, just in case something comes up, or something if like you get hurt or you get COVID or something like that, and you need to read your insurance policy to see if that will cover it up. And yeah, you have to pay extra more, like a lot of the time. Yeah, sometimes it might feel like it's a waste of money because you did not catch COVID, you did not get hurt, your plane did get cancelled, it did not get delayed, or whatever the situation is. But at the same time, it is better to be safe than sorry. And a lot of people do not read their insurance policy, and something does happen and they get in a panicky mode because they do not have insurance, or the insurance they have will not cover whatever the situation is. So just read your insurance policy. If you have to pay extra, just pay extra. Even if something doesn't happen, it's always to be fair. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really does help my channel out. Share it to your friends who might be traveling soon. Give it. You can share this video to them so they will not make these type of mistakes. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.